Going forward, I'm going to start conducting my videos in a different manner. As you can probably tell by now, there's no pictorial to help you along. Just some gameplay in the background. I'm sorry for those of you that were looking forward to this aspect, however there are a lot of ideas to get to, and I'm very eager to share my opinions about them. Today we're going to start our burden of proof off with Hinduism. Hinduism, the oldest religion in the world and currently the third largest with a following of 1.2 billion. Like many ancient religions of the world, Hinduism has many gods and goddesses. Brahma, the creator of everything, said to have even created himself into a golden egg. Vishnu, god of preservation and protection. Vishnu started off as less than a deity and over time has become one of the most powerful gods. Shiva, the god of destruction and transformation. Speculation comes that he came about from an ancient storm god called Rudra. Together, all three of these gods make up triumvirate. Hindu lessons are a big part of their religion, and it is because of these lessons that people say Hinduism is more of a way of life than a set of rules to follow. Dharma is that each and every person has a special role to play. Despite how you might feel, find a way to follow your duty and try to live your life in harmony with the other life around you. Artha, the pursuit of material things such as money and property. This should be done within the framework of Dharma. Reincarnation. This is the idea that we live multiple lives over and over again. After this life, you will be reincarnated into another animal or insect. Karma can be described as depending on how well you harmonize with other life around you, determines what animal or insect you will become in the next life. Karma does not always have to do with reincarnation. The things you do in this life can affect the things that happen later on in this life as well. Moksha. Once you live a good enough life, you achieve spiritual liberation, where you don't have to repeat the cycle of reincarnation anymore. During this state, one receives an eternal state of divine bliss, knowledge, and peace. Lingam and Yoni. Similar to yin and yang, this idea is a balance of measure between masculine and feminine. Many also correlate this to a bigger picture within the cosmos and withholding dharma. Normally, this is when I would tell some type of story and question its validity. However, with Hinduism, as already touched on before, you don't have to believe in a god or the stories, just the principles that follow with it. Not only that, but the stories are insanely vast, and picking just a few to dissect would be quite a project. So instead, I'll be going over the different denominations of Hinduism. Vaishnavism, the worship of Vishnu, and the belief that he is the supreme being. Along with this comes the worship of Dashavatara, a set of 10 avatars that Vishnu is said to appear on earth as. Shaivism, the worship of Shiva and the belief that he is the supreme being. Often associated with absence of worldly pleasures, Shaivism will sacrifice wealth and spiritual success. Older traditions are still in practice and use postmodern cannibalism 4th to 5th century. Shaktism, the worship of Shakti and the belief that she is the supreme being. Known as the Great Divine Mother, the equal feminine half of Shiva, also known as Lingam and Yoni, she is seen as essential for all life. She comes down to earth as 3 different avatars. Smartism. Smartists treat all deities the same and say that the choice of the nature of God is up to the individual. Different manifestations of God are found to be equivalent. These are the main denominations of Hinduism. I'll be honest, I didn't dive too deep into Hinduism just yet, but I think I mostly have the gist of it. Literally anything you can think of, there is a god for it. Whether it be the sun or oxygen, if one of these gods is off by a little bit, you could be talking about the destruction or prosperity of the world as we know it. As far as the burden of proof goes for Hinduism, I feel like you have to separate them into sections, as some parts are way more believable than others. Reincarnation, for example, seems totally plausible, and it seems like it would be very hard to disprove. When something dies, its energy is usually transferred to its predator. In fact, unless it's burned or dies outside of our world, it is feasted upon by the bacteria that roams our planet. Even the energy that is burned could be considered moksha. Furthermore, you would never know if you lived a past life. No one could ever say if they did or didn't. This does not prove nor disprove it, though there seems to be more evidence for than against it. Karma is less believable because how many times have you done something bad and then good things happen to you? Not saying it's immediate or that one hasn't experienced the bad karma yet, but you could easily point to a very good or very bad person's life and say that they never received their karma. Now, I know what the response is. It could have happened in their next life. That may be true, but how is that supposed to make us feel better? The ones that saw the really good or really bad things to be done with no karma being done in that life doesn't leave room for a whole lot of faith. The other category I would say is questionable is the belief of many gods making up everything. I see the idea behind polytheism, I really do. But if there's a god for everything, at what point do all the gods mesh together and make up one god? Honest question. So what do y'all think, Homo sapiens? Did Hinduism prove their burden? I'm at a 5.9 out of 10 on the convinced scale. Let me know in the comments. Thanks. See ya.